Okay, today's solo is going to be the solo to the AcDc song "You Shook Me All Night Long." So in order to get the most out of this, you should have a basic understanding of some fundamentals like the pentatonic scale, your bends, your vibrato. These are the things that are going to come up as you learn this and listen to the original recording. So what we're basically dealing with is different positions of the G pentatonic scale. So if you just take this famous Bach scale right there, just kind of ask yourself what the letters are. G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat. That's going to exist all over the place. And Angus Young uses that in a very textbook way, but still brilliant. So here's basically the connection of some of the pentatonic scales. So if you know this, you'll be able to get this solo easily. So here's what a possible connection could be. And all I'm doing is just going through that alphabet. G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, C, D. So he's pretty much up in that register at some point, and then he basically takes this G pentatonic scale and moves it up 12 frets higher. So now you're at the 15th fret with that. Okay, so here's some of the licks, and then you could explore all the finer points of it. So the opening lick is you're taking your third finger, putting it on the note C, bending it to the D, and take note of his vibrato, which is very distinct. So you have, then his is more radical, I believe. So that's just something you want to listen to. All right, so having said that, the next couple of notes are as follows. You're borrowing your first finger at the third fret, and you're picking the notes G, which is the first string, D, which is the second string. And your pinky will extend to the note F. Then you're returning to the note C, bending, and notice the bend. You're up, back down, back to B flat, then your pinky goes to G, and third finger on the note D, which is kind of outlining the G bar chord. So that lick. And then you just listen to how he attacks that. Then he just kind of descends in that scale. So you're just going G, F, D, C, and then he kind of gives like a little quick, almost like a grace note. So that part is B flat, G, F, G, B flat. Now, of course, you heard the whistler there, and what he does is do a pinch harmonic. So that's something you might want to look into if you're not already aware of that. And you're just kind of pinching the string there. So that's another conversation. All right, so that first lick. Okay, now here's the big connection. What you're doing is taking your second finger, grabbing the note C on the third string, sliding it a whole step to D. First finger goes to the note F now on the second string. Then the second finger continues an ascent, which is D to E on the third string. And your first finger is now going to G. So you get. Now here's a hot spot for the next lick. He hits the note E here, the note G, bends the note A, and bends that whole step to B. And notice the pinky sneaking in on the note D on the first string. So you have, after this, so that's, hits the note E again, then goes to B flat, bends a whole step, comes back down to B flat, stretches over back to the G, E, and back to G. Okay, so that's the A section of it before the big high bend. So we have the connection. That's a classic lick, textbook pentatonic blues origin type thing. All right, so now the next section is against the chorus chords where the solo climax has been. So what you're going to do is basically visualize your G pentatonic scale 12 frets higher, so at the 15th position. And this is an interesting lick because of how he bends this. So we're taking the note F, and it almost sounds like he's attacking it twice, but because his vibrato is so intense, it gives that impression, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So it sounds like it's picked twice, but if you listen closely, I believe it's one attack. And of course, with some distortion on that, it'll sustain the note. So I believe he's just hitting it once, and the vibrato being intense gives it the illusion of almost two attacks. Okay, so now the next section. And it's almost mimicking the first section again. So you have F bending to G. Then you're going same lick as you did earlier, G, D, F. So I'll do that again. So you got a little double stop action there, hitting these two strings, third and second. Okay, let me do that again. Okay, that's the first part. Now he's doing a classic, again, blues, twangy, country kind of thing almost, that Hendrix would do a lot of too. You're taking the note C, bending it up, and then while that's up to pitch, your pinky's on the note F. So let's put that in the phrase. So notice, chock full of double stops. So that's two strings as it's bent, coming back down. Now your first finger is at the 15th fret, covering the notes B flat and D. Single note G, double stop C and E. So you get. That's that phrase. So I'll put it all together at the end. Now you're going to grab a B flat, and it gets a little melodic here. There's a lot of ways you could finger this. You could go with your fourth finger, or I use my third, second, first. So I'm grabbing the notes B flat, A, G, then A to G again. Okay, so I got the, let me see. That's the melody note there. Let me go back to the other part. So let me see, it's coming off of this. So I'm going those notes as mentioned, taking F, bending it to G again. That's D, taking C, bending, coming back down, B flat, bending C again. And then the last lick, which is E to G. Okay, so that whole second section would be as follows. So that's the second section. Here's the first section. Connect. Second section. Then we're back into the chorus. So what you want to do is, after investigating all the subtleties like the vibrato, intonation of course, and all the things that go with that, is just understand how that works against the chords. That's the best thing to do, so you walk away with a new bunch of licks as opposed to just mimicking what you just did. And just look for the harmony of it, in short. So that's the way to do it, and you'll walk away from that solo with a bunch of new licks, potentially new approaches to your playing, etc. So hopefully you get something out of that, and until the next time.